As soon as you lift the brush, the problems start. How much water do you have to have in the brush to start painting? That's quite a difficult question, but the way which I decide how much water I should have in my brush, I do it in this way. I dip the brush into the water completely and whisk it a bit around so that it's completely filled with water, and then I drag it across the lip of my container here, and then a couple of times onto damp paper. If this paper here is dry, then suck too much water out of the brush, but if it's damp, then I usually have the right amount of water in the brush after doing this. Some people also use a wet sponge by the side of their water container, but I prefer the tissue. I prefer the damp tissue. One of the basic watercolour techniques is the wash. The wash is a even layer of transparent paint on a piece of paper, so even that it doesn't have any stripes or any runbacks and things like that. It's not one of the easiest techniques, but it is a basic one, so I will show you how I do this. I start by wetting the paper. Already, as you can see here, I have my paint mixed up, but I start by wetting an area on my paper here. I do it with horizontal stripes of my brush. I'm holding the paper a little bit at an angle. This will allow the paint and the water to run down this area here. I just get a little bit more paint mixed up here. I fill my brush completely up with this paint here, and I start at the top, and then I paint another stripe just underneath it, and another stripe here, another stripe here. So I'm beginning to run out of paint. I go back and fill it up. What I usually do now, if it's not as even as I would like it to be, I go back and drag my brush across again, like that. Now I end up with such an area as this, but notice this here. There is a lot of water which is collecting at the bottom here. If I allow this water to remain here, I will get a run back. When this area here begins to dry, then this water will get dragged up the paper here, and I'll get a run back. To avoid a run back, what I have to do is to remove this water here, and I do it in this way here. I wash my brush out and dry it on this piece of paper here. I hold my paper completely vertically here. I take the brush, put it underneath here, and the brush sucks the water up as if it was a sponge. If I didn't do this and just let this area dry, then I would get a run back, and a run back looks like this. So I would get something like this, and that is not what I want.